So hi, I'm Brian from SkillSlate. I run product and search, and I'm going to give you a demo of the site. SkillSlate is all about finding individual service professionals, so one-person companies focused on service categories. We're currently only in New York. A couple of our category examples would be handymen, hairdressers, and dog walkers, but we'll soon be expanding to about 100 plus categories in the New York City area. So let's say I'm looking for a handyman in New York, and I type in New York handyman. You get a bunch of results, and most of them are actually big companies as opposed to one-person businesses because the Google algorithm favors large established companies over one-person companies. We've invested a lot in our SEO, so we rank near the top for New York handyman. And if you click into our site, you'll land on a page with a number of individual service providers that are in our network. So we focus heavily on showing not only what the person does, but who they are. And a number of ways in which you do that is you provide a photo, reviews, and a number of information about them. We encourage the service provider to have a voice on our site so that they can do things like respond to reviews from past clients to show a dialogue between themselves and their customers. We do have a number of structured data points to help the consumer find the person they need, such as what types of payments they accept, what services they perform, do they offer free consultations, etc. We ask them to describe themselves. In this instance, Steve Hall says, in the past he's worked on renovations on Steven Spielberg's penthouse in Central Park West, which is kind of an interesting data point to help you choose Steve and think, oh, maybe he's pretty qualified or different. So that is the basic gist of the site. And if you go to SkillSlate.com today, you'll see that we're focused on 10 categories, and we should expand that to about 100 in December.
Bartek, I'm the co-founder and CEO of SkillSlate. In 2008, I had moved back from San Francisco, living in a converted one-bedroom apartment in Midtown with a roommate I found off Craigslist. And we were two fairly slobby guys, and we realized we would never change, and we needed to find a cleaning person. I went to Craigslist, and I want to go through that big list, and I don't know who's good and who's bad, so I'll just put up my own ad and then have people call me. She got 100 phone calls in about 12 hours. Final offer was kind of ridiculous. It was for $45 for the person to come to my apartment, do my laundry, my roommate's laundry, pick up food from Greenpoint, all of that for $45. So 10 people called me. 8 of those people called me only to yell at me. So they spent their own time to just yell at me, telling me that I'm giving them too low of a wage. And of the 2 people who said that they would be willing to do it, I randomly chose one. She ended up becoming great and ended up paying her $65 after the first time she came. And I thought back to that experience and thought that that was a really inefficient way to select the person I was going to clean my apartment. So I started thinking, how can this problem be solved? And started thinking about analogous models. And one of those models I thought was kind of interesting was the model of online dating. So in online dating, you have a fairly similar problem in which there's a commoditized service of companionship, and you need to figure out a way to go from a list of potentially several 100,000 matches down to a smaller number that you feel comfortable with. And the way that online dating has solved that problem is by allowing the searcher to refine their search down. Service of cleaning is commoditized, and so you need to be able to shrink that list down to the people who are most relevant for your search. So when you look at SkillSlate today, it's kind of like a hybrid of kayak.com and an online dating site focused on one-person companies. And one of the key differences between one-person companies and bigger companies is cost. So whereas if you go to Google and find Acme Handyman Corporation, when you land on that page, the person who comes to fix your sink is not the person who owns that company or maintains that website. And what ends up happening is you pay, let's say, $150 for that job, and the person who actually came to your house only gets paid 80 of those dollars. SkillSlate exists is that we think it's now the right time, balance of the internet and with people's comfort of having online identities for their businesses as individuals, to basically cut out the middleman and allow consumers to go directly to the service provider. And the advantage for consumers is that that person's a lot less expensive, and the advantage for the service provider is that that service provider actually gets paid more than if you were to join a larger company. We got to know each other is I was spending a lot of my time working on SkillSlate while I had a full-time day job as a venture capitalist. And I basically started running into a time allocation issue, and I needed help to do my full-time job. And I used to work at Yahoo, ran SEO for the local division, was a product manager. And so I thought he'd be a great fit, not only for the venture capital job, but also for this emerging SkillSlate role.
Business school at NYU at the time and thought I wanted to do venture capital. Was very excited to get the offer. Was actually a little bit upset that Bartek was going to make me work on a startup part of that time. But it ended up being the case where I got so excited about the idea and saw his passion, and we started to see some traction on the site that I thought this really has legs, and I'd really like to do this. I figured I can be a VC when I grow up, but for now, creating something is more important.